Hello, weekend warriors, and it's my pleasure to say welcome back to the workshop. It's been about 6 months since I did a video, and that's because I've spent the last 6 months preparing for and now working on recovering from a knee replacement surgery. Because let's face it, I'm getting older and things are wearing out. Anyway, while I was recovering here over the last few weeks, I took this Shopsmith that I picked up. And in case you haven't guessed, I love my Shopsmiths. And this one I picked up for a song because it was in rough shape. It was rusty. It hadn't been treated very well over the years. And so, since I had to do things that I could do sitting down, I took the rust off this thing and I did a refurb job on it. And now it's ready for its first project in its new life. And because I still can't do anything big and heavy, I figured what the heck, I would just do this video, a little demonstration. And what's my demonstration going to be? Well, I'm going to use functions of this single Shopsmith. I'm not using anything else, none of the other tools in my shop, to turn this hunk of branch, into a pen. So what I'm going to be able to do is use the functions of the Shopsmith, like the joiner and the bandsaw and the drill press and the lathe and whatever else I think I need, to create a nice little pen as a gift to go with the gift that the Shopsmith is going to be. So let me move the camera around and we'll get started on this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work with the joiner because this thing's round and I don't like cutting round things on a bandsaw. I've almost lost a finger doing that. So I'm going to make some flat spots. Hang on. Okay, now I got a couple of flat sides to work with, and I'm looking at this, and that's some real pretty grain this thing has. So that's going to cut into some nice pen blanks, I think. So now it's time to switch over to the bandsaw and cut my blanks. Okay, now we're set up with the bandsaw. I've taken my miter gauge, and it's going to act as my fence for the bandsaw. I've got a nice heavy resawing blade in there, so cutting through this thing should be no problem. One of the features on a Shopsmith is the fact that you can lock the miter gauge in place. So now it's nice and stiff, and now it's acting as bends. Okay, so now I just need to adjust the blade guard. Okay, I've set the miter gauge up so it's about 3/4 of an inch from the blade. So that should give me enough for a decent pen blank. All right, so now we are going to get going here. Yeah, forgot to move my blade guard back down to reduce the deflection in the blade. Yeah. All right. So when I do this, I always give myself, find the lowest point. There's the lowest point on the blank. So I'm going to give myself about an 1/8 inch from that lowest point and an 1/8 inch from the edge. And do the same thing on this one, leaving a little bit more room for the saw cut. Okay. Now give me the old speed square here. And I have to get rid of the fence because I'm going to cross cut these. And I'm going to do it without the miter gauge. I'm just going to do a cut straight on through. There. So I'm looking good. All right. Now it's time to set up for drilling out the blanks. So y'all hang on. All right, setting up for drill press mode. It's really easy. Once again, it takes longer to reset the camera than it does to do this. Okay, I'm going to disengage my coupler here. Go back in my pocket. I'll move the headstock down to where it'll give me a little bit easier movement as I lift this guy up. I'm going to unlock the carriage, and up it goes into drill press mode. And I have to make sure that I don't have, and I do, I left my tailstock in. So I need to move it out of the way. There we go. Into drill press mode, and I'll lock that into place. And now I'm going to go get a chair and sit down because my knee's starting to hurt. Okay, and while I continue to rip up my lawn, I'm going to go ahead and drill out my pen blanks. Now, I've got this jig I made to hold square stuff like this nice and firmly so it doesn't catch and lose and go spinning off into the distance. So I'm just going to do the drilling here. Okay, I got 2 pen blanks drilled out. Now I just need to glue them in, glue the tubes in, and we'll be back to the drill press again. Hang on. All right, there's my blanks. Here's my pen tubes. Now I've taken some sandpaper and roughed up the pen tube so the super glue has something to hold on to. So now it's just a matter of getting these things coated with super glue. And this is some thin stuff that I'm using. And into the tubes, and I turn the tube as I'm going, and then I'll just leave it sitting there for a second or two without my fingers getting caught. And that one is ready to dry. All right. Now give those time to dry, and we'll be ready to trim them up. Now we'll put our blank back into our jig here. Gonna give it a little bit of play. Okay, if you could see inside there, you'd see that I'm just about flush with the brass tube that's inside the blank on both ends. So now when I turn it, once I turn the excess away, I'm going to have a nice square end on each side. Okay, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but I can see the nice shining edge of the brass all the way around there. So I am pretty well milled where I want to be. So now it's time to reconfigure the drill press into the lathe. All right, let's go ahead and do this conversion. Once again, it almost took longer to move the camera than it's going to take to get us into lathe mode here. Oops, there goes my pen mill. Let me move all my jigs and stuff over to the other bench. I won't need the drill chuck this time, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off. I'll put it in a box. Okay. I will not be needing the table anymore today. Now you might ask, if this thing's a table saw too, why I haven't used the table saw? Well, for this one, I haven't received my blade guards yet. And since I almost lost a hand a couple years ago on a real live, Craftsman table saw, I don't work without my blade guards anymore. Okay. He's down, he's locked down. Make sure that guy's down and tightened up. Okay. All right. So now reposition the camera. While I was at it, I added the lock nut over here to the mandrel. So I was able to tighten up my blanks so they will turn and still allow me to cut without just having the mandrel spin inside. Yeah, so I'm ready to at least begin rounding these guys off. And I like to use my gouge when I'm doing this. Okay, so we're pretty close right there. I'm going to go ahead and switch out to sandpaper to get it the rest of the way down. It's got about another 1/16 of an inch before I make it down to the width of my bushings here. So. All right, I've got this guy sanded down. Even with the bushings that are on the mandrel, so it's a nice slimline pen. And since I forgot to mix up my normal finish that I put on my pens, I'm just going to go ahead and use some Minwax paste wax on this as my finish. So.
I pinch the wood until I feel it heating up in the rag, so it's getting soaked into the wood. And I'm just going to let it sit for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to polish it, and then I'm going to add another coat and just wash, rinse, repeat until I am. Okay, there they are. They're all waxed up. I got a nice sheen on them. You can definitely see the wood grain. I think it's a real pretty set of barrels there. So now all I have to do is assemble it. Now, what's a helpful tool for assembling is the Shopsmith put into drill press mode, because it acts like a nice press. So let me do that. And then, okay, first thing I'm going to do is put the pen tip in. So get it started, give it a real good firm push. And now I will use the press capability of my drill press to put that together. Now put in the pen mechanism. Once again, I will push it in as far as I can with my fingers, get it nice and straight. And then again, give it a little push. Needs going a little bit farther than that. There we go. Now I got this ring that will slide down between the two.
Alright, now I'm done.
Okay, now install the mechanism. Push the pen in, and there we go. We got a fully functional twist pen in the slimline fashion that today we made from a tree branch all the way to the finished product. And this one's going to work with me because I need a new pen for my desk.
Okay, there we have it. We took a big old hunk of log, and out of that we got a nice ballpoint pen, rollerball, twist, slimline. I like it, but then again, I made it, so what can I say? I know it wasn't an earth-shaking episode, and it kind of was a show-off for the Shopsmith, but it was actually showing you that I'm not dead. I'm still out here, and I'm back in the saddle and working on projects. So until the next time I see you, y'all keep up the good fight and get something done. Bye.